track and control people at the end of the day, isn't it? And keep them accountable. All right, let's move on to the fun stuff. Victor. I was going to share a bit about Victor, like what I found with it. Michael, Jackson, Tanya, anyone who's using it, share the things that you're doing. But the thing that I spoke to Jared about, because I put Jared on it this week as well, was we all know this. We've got all these AI tools, right? And then they use a bunch of credits, and they can become quite expensive. If you're not managing it and monitoring it, they end up being quite expensive. So Victor, I'll show you. It's like an AI agentic tool, basically, but it runs on a credit system. So the more you talk to it, the more you get it to do, the more credits it will use. So I sort of figured out a prompt for it that would make it audit and evaluate itself every week. So I'm going to show you what it is and then share that with you as well. And I think this is really interesting too, because I've been talking with my team, and I don't know about you guys, right? But I've been empowering my team with AI tools, right? We've got Claude, we've got Manus, we've got ChatGPT, well, OpenAI, ChatGPT. Now we've got Victor, and just trying to figure out like if my team are just kind of running amok with AI, they could just run credits up everywhere, right? So we're trying to kind of control them, and I'm trying to make my team just conscious of the fact that, yeah, we've got all these tools, definitely use them, but just remember to use them correctly and don't go mental with some of the stuff, because they keep redoing things as well. If they don't get it right the first time, they keep redoing it. It just churns up credits, right? And what was really interesting talking to my team today, and one of my team, my CSM, he brought up a bunch of articles with me about things where this is happening in massive companies. So this was one of them. Microsoft reportedly canceling most of their internal licenses for Claude Code because it's basically just got too expensive for them. So they're going to go, obviously, they're going to keep AI, but they're going to go into their own, I think it says something in here, their own basically tools, but they were just spending too much. So their engineers are just taking it up so much. They're producing about 30% of their code now using AI, and it's just costing them a fortune. There was Uber. This is incredible, right? Uber burnt its 2026 AI budget in 4 months on Claude Code. And where was it? Their development spent 3.4 billion. Was it that one? I think it was that anyway. But they basically churned through their budget in 4 months on AI, which blows me away. And if you read these articles, it basically sort of says in here that they didn't really understand the billing and how much was being used, which I find incredibly hard to believe. Because even like if you just look at your monthly bill and how much you're paying, you can figure that out, right? And just go, well, that's how much they're using, whether it's the tokens or whatever. So that's happened with Uber. Uh, Starbucks were having trouble with their AI manager. So we're going to talk about Victor, but also this is a reminder, like Victor's super powerful, but as a reminder, just go, hey, it still doesn't know everything, right? You got to check in. Um, Starbucks killed their AI manager because it just wasn't doing as good a job as a human. Oh, my screen's flicked off. Let's come back. There we go. Came back. Is it still sharing okay? Because it changes where
Yep.
it's the screen thing. All right, cool. And Pizza Hut. So Pizza Hut have got $100 million AI lawsuit on them because they were using AI to figure out delivery times, and then the what do you call them? The Uber Eats drivers were working out how they could group together orders and just waiting until orders were kind of stacked up and then go and pick up four orders at once instead of running in, grabbing an order and delivering it. So what was happening is the orders were backing up, and then the first one to come out might be the last one to get delivered, and then they would get cold meals. So they started complaining, and now they've got this lawsuit because AI wasn't figuring that out and how the Uber Eats drivers could get into the back of it. So Pizza Hut have gone back to like this retro style in a bunch of their restaurants to try and lure people back into a retro age before AI, which is kind of funny, right? So I'm just saying this stuff just to keep in mind that AI is amazing. I'm using it tons, but we've just got to remember like the cost of it, the limitations of it, and the fact that it can go badly wrong, right? So don't unleash these things and just go, "Hey, how amazing is that?" So, Victor, who's got Victor or heard of Victor at the moment? Jay, Michael, Tim. I can't see everyone on here anyway. All right. I can't keep up with the questions in the chat as well, guys, so we'll see. But Victor, basically, it's like your AI, it lives in Slack. So you just message it through there. It's got connections to about 3,000 tools and it does stuff. Like it'll actually go through and implement stuff. I know, and this probably come up, people have got Claude Code or OpenClaw or whatever that's doing stuff as well, and maybe cheaper. Jackson rightly pointed out earlier, like time is money, right? So just because it's cheaper to run, getting it set up and using it can also be like a delay, right? And Victor, for me, when I set it up, was just like a 5 minute, and then it just did amazing things really quickly. So it's got its own sandbox. It runs for weeks without losing context, outputs PDF spreadsheets, dashboards, code commits, web apps, all kinds of stuff. Tons of integrations, especially for like what we're using it for a lot is for Google Ads and Meta campaigns, which is really cool, just to keep an eye on all of that stuff. Goddamn screen ticking off. Got a bunch of scheduled tasks. This was done by Victor, by the way, as well, right? So it's promoting itself. It says, yeah, the math is simple, 24/7, $50 a month per workspace, 3,000 integrations, 5 minutes setup time. So compare that to a virtual assistant at $2 grand a month, works 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Victor works around the clock, never needs onboarding, doesn't forget what happened 3 weeks ago, but it won't cost $50 a month. It says average pricing for a small business is about $300 a month in terms of actual usage, right? Because it's going on this credit-based system. We can talk about the things that we are doing. If you guys do want to sign up and use it, you get $100 worth of free credits just to get started. Add it to your Slack workspace. If you use that code there, I'd appreciate it, or that link, sorry, mycrmsim.com/Victor. I will get some referral credits for that, which would be amazing. I've told a bunch of people about it in the last week, including signing up my wife, and I didn't give anyone my referral code. I think actually, no, I did to Michael, I think. But most of the people I gave it to was just like, there you go and sign up for that. It's amazing. So I'd love some referral codes, would be amazing if you don't mind. That would be cool. But this is what they're not talking about, though, is like the credits. So the credits is the currency. So you can burn through it really fast. And if you don't know how to manage them, then you can just churn through it. It has got a Victor credit optimizer. So there's a link here. I can share these slides afterwards, right? There's a link here on how to optimize your Victor credits. Screen's just pinged off again. So sorry, I'm waiting for it to come back. So it actually outlines in there all the things that you can do with Victor in the ways that you communicate with it and the models that it can use, the way for it to set tasks, all these kind of things that Victor can do. And I created a prompt for that, which I ran in my account. I shared it with Jackson, and he got the same kind of results as me. Jackson was using, this is that screenshot you sent me, Jackson, 97,000 credits a month before. Afterwards, 42,000 credits a month. So it reduced it by more than half, 65%, I think that was. So it cut what Jackson had set up basically in half by putting this prompt in to Victor to tell it to go and optimize itself. So anybody want that prompt?
Yes, please.
Thought so. All right. This is the prompt basically. So I just asked Victor to add a weekly check-in on how we're going in terms of optimizing our use with you according to this, so we can get the most out of our usage according to this. And that's the URL that they actually tell you how to do it. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to tell Victor, optimize yourself and tell me what I'm not doing according to how Victor helps support say to optimize it. And then give us a feedback to us on a scale of 1 to 10, how effective we're being with each of the optimization points on this page, and give us an overall score of 1 to 10 for the entire picture. So these are all the kind of optimization points that it gives you on the page. All right, there's more detail on there, but that's kind of the summary of it. So I wanted a score of 1 to 10 on all of them, and then give us real feedback examples on what we did well and what we did badly and how it could be improved. And look at any actions you've run over the previous week and any task or automation has been set up, and look for ways to improve and optimize them. If threads are getting too long, could you suggest in a thread that we start a new one to help optimize our credits? The goal should be to get the most out of our credits in the most efficient way possible. So all of that is basically saying, hey, read the recommendations that are supplied by your team to optimize it. And then this one I actually added in. And if anyone's got any other ones or stuff they've added to this, because Tanya, you said you found ways to optimize credits. The way that Victor works is it works in like a thread in Slack. And I don't actually use Slack until I started doing this because we have another tool we use, Click, for our team. But it works in a thread. And if you keep going in the same thread, it uses more credits because it has to keep reading the whole context of the thread. So Victor, in their optimization, recommends that you should start new threads for new tasks. And I just asked it and said, if threads are getting too long, like if I'm actually doing too much in the thread, remind me, and then we'll go to a new thread. So it started doing that. And it also started splitting threads out. So if I gave it a task to do to create descriptions for a YouTube video or a set of YouTube videos and a thumbnail, it's actually now splitting them out into two threads. So I'll do the descriptions in one and the YouTube thumbnails in another one rather than keeping it all in one thread. So Victor's kind of training me to keep this threads as thin as possible, basically, to optimize my credits. And that is basically what brought, well, mine and Jackson's run costs down by about 50% by just putting that in and telling Victor to optimize itself, which I thought was pretty cool. And I was going to share this as well, right? So Victor versus the competition, because Jared asked me, he's like, well, why are you using it? You've got Manus, you've got all these other tools. When I love Manus, right? And I've been trying with Manus for a while to kind of get good graphics out of it. We've had some not. But this was an example out of Manus that I asked it to do a thumbnail for me for a YouTube video. And this one here on the left is like what it did. And then I gave that same info to a new out of the box Victor, and it came up with this straight away. And that is what sold me on Victor immediately. Because I started using it. I was like, oh, what if it could make these thumbnails for me? And it churned this out. I was like, oh my God. And it was like out of the box before I even really knew much about what we did in our business or anything. So, my screen's gone again. Lovely. So there you go. Go and grab Victor, and love to hear what everybody's doing with it as well. Especially you, Jackson.
I,
You've gone hard. Oh, sorry. I don't know who that was.
I just want to ask a quick question. So we only started playing with it about 3 days ago, and we've pretty much already burnt through the $100 because I've gone absolutely mental with it. I built my own back end project management system for the team, connected it to Slack, so we've all been playing and we've burnt through. I've just today, and I'm still playing. I've just connected it to high level. Has anybody here got it connected to GHL?
Yeah.
What I can see Michael's nodding his head as well. What can we actually do with it in high level?
Well, Jackson and Michael have done a bunch of stuff. The one thing I did with it, we found that we had a workflow. We just found out last week we had a workflow that wasn't working properly, and our customers that are supposed to get their onboarding email, they were all getting them if they came through the website and purchased on the website. But if they purchased through our back end, they were not getting the onboarding emails. It's only been like that for 2 years, so who knew? So we fixed it, but I wanted to make sure that it was fixed. So what I did was I got Victor to check in every day and then look and go, okay, you got, and have they been sent the onboarding emails to make sure that it was working? So it's basically doing checks on our workflows to make sure they're running through and getting sent out.
Right.
I know
Can it
Michael and Jackson
write?
doing a bunch of stuff on onboarding.
Can it write into GHL?
Michael Jackson, I think you guys have done more than I have in that regard. So one of you,
Yeah, as in writing, as in like sending blogs and that sort of thing. Do you mean? And like
Oh, can you?
SMSs and so on.
I use Ask AI for that, so I've got no problems with that. But I mean, instead of because since we built our own platform, we very rarely even log into GHL now. We just let it look after the automations and the sales and marketing. If I want to add a new contact, so because we've got Slack and everything
Yeah,
connected
it'll do it.
into everything,
Yeah,
if a new lead comes in, can I say at Victor, add this to
100%.
GHL? It will.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
It's all voice based, and
Yeah.
that's where you.
as well.
Yep.
Sorry, what can it do, Tanya?
You can update
What's
your
that, Tanya?
emails, but only the text. Only the text. So it can't do the drag and drop. which is a bummer.
Yeah.
But
So, but
yeah.
it could do the snippets and stuff like that.
Oh, I haven't tried a snippet actually. I've got some snippets on one of the Teams tasks. I might actually assign it to Victor and see.
So
I'll let you know.
last night at about 10 p.m., I got a message from one of our clients in WA who is a high ticket client who is literally like a done for you client on their end. Now they use an external CRM, and then a little bit of Pinnacle high level, to do some of their advertising and a little bit of automation. Now, what they'd found is that there was some kind of stuff up where basically, for some reason, last night, all of some automations were firing off, pushing people back into different pipeline stages, bringing in leads from different lead sources all over again, and literally just out of nowhere. I wasn't near my computer. My tech team, who are the 24/7 tech support through Dakota, and that they obviously don't have access to the external CRM stuff and the integration stuff. And my CTO hadn't logged in yet. I literally just went to Slack and I put in a voice note. Hey, Victor, this is what's happening. You have access to this sub account within our high level account, and you can also have access to Zap and Leads Bridge. Please find out why this is all happening. 5 minutes, it changed the Zap, it changed the triggers within the automation, within the sub account, and then came back with reasons why that had happened, and then pushed all of the opportunities back to where they should. And then also then picked up two or three things that I didn't know that were in older Zaps and also older webhooks that were in different things that would cross over and have future stuff ups as well. And it did it all just me sitting on the lounge, voice activated on Slack.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was nuts.
That's almost an auditing tool then, Michael.
Yes, I use it as an auditing tool as part of my daily report that comes back to me now. So every day I get Victor to send me a report at 5 p.m., which is a 24-hour inbound revenue. So it connects to Stripe, how much revenue we've had come in, failed payments, at-risk accounts, an overall GHL audit of activity within the accounts as well. So which accounts haven't had activity for 14 days. So in that way I can find out, okay, these are our at-risk accounts. What else is there? There's a Meta ads report and a Google ads report that plugs into UpX. So it brings in all of those details, plus also our own Meta ads. And then with ourselves, it then audits our own show ratios and everything off our own calendars within High Level and also Google, and basically audits our time and how Victor can then help us be more effective in the next 7 days based on the previous 7 days to take tasks off our plate. That's just one report I get every day at 5 p.m. from it.
Crazy. And you had built 28 agents in Claude before, and you said to me that this is better than the 28 agents you'd built.
Yeah, that's what I was interested to hear, Michael. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I built previously, and this is with Claude and Manus as the back-end engine, using Paperclip as the infrastructure.
Orchestrator, yeah.
Yep. So I built out basically my own AI workspace, and I was literally just talking to my AI CEO, and then the AI CEO would then basically hand the task down to the next level of team members, and then down to the next level, choreograph and get it all done. Victor is easier to use, 10 times smarter, 10 times quicker, and obviously the skills base and everything we can update as we go. It's just integration wise is so much easier as well, rather than me having to go find all the different API tokens and everything to put in for each skill set. It's literally as we go to integrate through Victor, it's just one click, bang, MCP or API access done. It's makes my job so much easier.
And it
Michael,
learns
can
as well.
you-
Like it's,
Can you connect it to multiple Meta accounts and Google
Yeah.
Ads accounts?
Yeah,
or
so you
what
can go through
that's it.
different, you can go through the business managers. So I've got like three business managers hooked up to it, and then
Okay.
also my UpX account management hooked up to it as well. So it can pull not only the ones who we manage. So, for instance, I was on the go again yesterday and I got the ad report sent to me at 5 p.m. And I'm like, one of them had sort of blown out a bit. So I just said to Victor, hey, we're only just a little bit high on this ad account. Just for today, can you come up with 5 new copies and 5 images to add to the ad set to feed that campaign using the exact same form that's already there? Because then obviously all the integrations on the back end, it wouldn't change. 2 minutes done, and it was like hands off. It had done it all, and it was all on brand because everything was all there. It obviously, in terms of that side of it, if you give it access, there's different meta accesses you can give it through the integrations. You can get it whether it uploads just images and then gives you the copy, or it can go on full on do the media buying and everything as well, autonomously or within your parameters. And then obviously with us having Apex integration, then can then pull the data of what's working on the back end for other clients and bring it across too. Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Are you
Jackson,
using Claude or Manus at all? Or Manus
Yeah.
at all?
Yeah, I'm
Still.
literally just here with Claude now, building out a little micro SaaS now. And then I'll give it to Victor and say, hey, do an overview of this and tell me what we can do basically to make it better, and then set up all the automations within Pinnacle so I don't have to. This is what I want to happen. You go do it within this sub account.
So have you stopped using Paperclip now? Or like
Yep.
Victor's replacing it? Mhm.
Yep. Victor's replaced Paperclip and all the Claude and Manus agents that I had built out inside of it.
Mhm. And so you reused the skills that you had created for Cloud
Mhm.
Code and everything. So you're using
Yep.
your own skills and just moving them
Yep.
across.
But then there's also there's out of the gate though, and this, like, I don't want to take too much time, but out of the gate, Victor's skill set's pretty crazy. Like, obviously you can, integration wise, you can plug into, I know OpenAI. I have to check if we've got a Manus
no,
plugin. I don't think
I've got the
so.
integration open if you want.
Yeah, I know we've got OpenAI. I don't know about Manus, but yeah,
There's
out of the gate, it's
no
smart.
Manus.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, there's no Manus.
Even ClickUp, I get Victor to create full projects now, and I wanted a quarter for priorities list with particular custom fields and all of that, and did it all. I've actually set up Victor's own email address across my 3 brands. And so Victor can email, like, and even say it's from Victor, but it's an alias as you. But I've set up a full email address. So Victor actually reaches out to my clients now.
What sort of things does it ask your clients, Tanya?
Let me see. There was probably 1 or 2 sent this
Just asking
morning,
for stuff
so-
you're waiting for and things like that, or you've got to send me this.
Yep. So there was one this morning. This is just a bookkeeper client of ours. Hope you're having a great week. Just checking in to see if you've had a chance to look at the Loom videos that Tanya sent you
Yeah,
last week.
perfect. Reminder.
And no rush at all. Just want to make sure. So it's just a check-in because he's noticed she hasn't applied yet.
Yeah, perfect. A great example.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like integration
just
wise, you've got Fathom, Loom,
Mm.
and so then obviously you can give it rules with inside of that as well.
Yeah, so we've plugged all of those in. So it's learning all that from Fathom. We use Click, which is like Slack, but we use Click, and it's plugged into that. My email, Fathom, the reports from or in Upbase, which is our project management thing. So it's learning everything from that, and now it's sending daily things. At the end of the day, it's sending messages to like my team saying, "Hey, I noticed that you're working on this, or Gary's asked you to do this. Can I help you? Just let me know what you'd like to do, and I'll get it started for you." So it's coaching my team and keeping on top of them. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's standard, isn't it?
We actually started doing that with Dakota's team because we got the done for you and it goes through ClickUp. So we've connected it to it, and it's prodding them every 24 hours. What is happening with this? What have you? And I was actually at a meeting with Dakota yesterday, and he went, "Dude, stop pushing them." I went, "All right, it's Victor, but I'll work on it."
Yeah.
You know, this has been sitting in
by
here
the
for 2
way,
days. What's going on?
I had Victor checking my bookkeeper's work because relying too heavily on the auto reconciliation in Xero, the Jack's auto reconciliation is not great. And so I got Victor to go in and have a look, and he fixed it all up, which was really good.
What did he fix
There's
against
so
the
much.
auto?
Yeah, so
had
he
one
just said,
thing.
yeah, there's actually there's duplicate, the auto reconciliation. So for example, if you've got Stripe coming in, you've got your bank accounts coming in. There were 2 accounts that the auto reconciliation was, one not posting to the correct account, and 2, because auto re is okay, there's a rule, or we've just guessed that we think it'll be this. And so Victor came up with a whole heap of, hey, we've got these issues, let's update that. And then
What
it's
did
just
you
as
tell
simple
Victor
as,
to
do you want
do?
me to do that for you? What's
To
that,
start that
sorry?
off, what did you tell Victor to do? Did you say, hey, just go and audit
I
my
just said, can you
Xero
just audit? I said, my bookkeeper's got my BAS ready for submission. I've got to look at it. Can you just have a look at it and see if you can find anything that might be a discrepancy, or we're good to go now? Full disclosure, that's me being lazy, because I went, Victor is amazing. And so I'm going, how much can Victor do for me? And so I
Yeah.
thought, okay, I just want to check. So while I was, and this is really bad because I work with bookkeepers and accountants, so they hate me because but they also love me because I'm saying, you've really got to leverage Victor, even if it's just to do your monthly reports or whatever. And so while I'm actually with my sister over the weekend, I just said, hey, Victor, can you just check all that? Give me a report. Let me know where you think there are any discrepancies. Have everything been allocated correctly? And then it just came back with there was 55 items actually that
So
I could
you
go
can
in and
give
have a look.
access. It doesn't connect to Xero. You just gave access to the BAS, like to the reporting. Is that right?
No, it connects to
No.
Xero. It
It
connects
connects
to
to
Xero.
It
Xero.
does.
Because that was
Mhm.
one thing
Yeah.
that I didn't see. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of MCP attached to the integration. That's where the power comes in. It just integrates all the MCP to
Yeah.
different tools, just knows what it needs to do.
Yeah.
Jackson, do you want to share some of the
It
stuff
can
you've
do
been?
all the credit notes. I mean, it's a bit of a worry, but Victor even said it can process my payroll. Yeah. Well, can you process the payroll using someone else's bank account?
Get yourself a pay rise.
Yeah, exactly.
Jackson, do you want to share some of the things you've been doing? Because you've shared some cool stuff with me this week. Like, there's 2 cool things that Jackson shared with me, which was one, Victor was in his channel listening to what he was talking about with his team, and they wanted to do something to monitor leads and cost per lead and stuff like that, which they were discussing. And then Victor piped up at the end of the day or whenever it was, said, hey, I saw that you guys were thinking you wanted to do something to monitor leads and the cost per lead or whatever it was. I've just put together a little MVP dashboard for you.
Holy
Have a
crap.
look. And if you like
Yeah.
it, let me know and I could flesh that out properly, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that Jackson shared with me, he did a loom and sent it to Victor and said, hey, can you watch this? And then implement what you can and make a task for it in Upbase, which is the project management tool, and set it for this date. And it went and watched the loom and created the tasks and stuff. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God. So
Fuck.
you've implemented a lot of stuff this week, Jackson. Do you want to share a bit, mate?
Yeah. So I think the biggest, I'll use all of those tools like Claude, Manners, and all those tools. Like it's a chat model. I think the biggest thing, like we were talking to Michael about this, is that you got to treat it as an employee. It's intuitive, it's proactive. It listens what you're doing. It understands what you're doing and looks for gaps of what you do in your business. It listens to everything you're doing in your channels, and it's able to just look at what's going on and just learn what the missing part is and fill in those gaps. So I know that Gary mentioned that he uses chat just to talk directly into Slack as a conversation. So what we've done is we literally gone to our Slack and separate all the different channels into different sort of categories. Like, for example, SOP as a channel, internal SOP as a channel, meta ads as a channel,
I've done the same.
help desk email monitoring as a
and
channel. So have its own channel and have its own skills and own tools and own, I guess, things it needs to monitor each of those channels and give it that premise of what it needs to be doing in each of those steps so it can do the jobs correctly. So give me an example of what Gary was saying. That I have a Hive. We use Hive as a knowledge base for our clients, and we used to have Loom videos that creates the Loom that will put it into a Loom folder in Loom, and then it gets updated into the Hive as a knowledge base and gets posted onto YouTube. So now we have a workflow in that particular channel. So every time I lob a Loom video in there, it's going to automatically go into Loom, have its own account, moves it into its own folder, transcribe the Loom, goes into Hive, updates the Hive knowledge base, puts the Loom videos in there, puts it text in there as well too, publish the Hive article, and then creates a thumbnail, throws it into YouTube, and then creates a task to upload as a video that can be done for knowledge base. And once that SOP has been created, we create it into its own skill. So it's an own skill set within that channel. So that's a workflow it creates. So every time I do that, it just does it all by itself. Like all these things I've just mentioned were things that I had a VA full-time doing that on a daily basis. Like I've looked at across all the different things we're currently doing. We had to replace probably 30-40%, if not more, of the things that we were doing manually. Had a full-time member just doing things in there. So it's pretty crazy what it's able to do, and the scope of what it's able to do just expands on a daily basis as we're using them.
Jackson and Michael,
Can I
I'm
just
curious
ask-
to know. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm butting in.
That's okay. Oh, sorry, no, you go.
I'm just curious to know what plan you're on now. What are you paying per month for Victor? Because
I'm
I know
120.
I know my expectations and mine are pretty high, but for the average bear, so what are you guys paying?
We're 120,000. I think we're going to go up to like probably 400 a month easily, if not more, 500 a month for what I
I
want
thought you were about to say 120,000 there. I'm like,
No, no,
Credits.
That's
Credits,
next
man.
level,
Credits,
mate.
yeah.
it's like, what are you
No.
doing?
No, it'd be more like 500. I think a sweet spot for our team size would be about 500, 600 a month. But I will probably comfortably say it will probably 2 full-time VA output for that kind of credit.
Oh yeah.
Like easily 2 full-time VA. My team is blown away how it's able to do. Like our media team for social media posts is able to create videos, create shorts, create posts and strategies and different things like that, like just in matters of minutes.
Wow.
And it does on a daily basis and does a review on a daily basis.
Jackson,
We're
can
on
I
the
ask-
$400 a month plan. I just had a quick look.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not
Jackson,
bad.
can I
Not
ask,
bad for money,
how do you, have you got the paid version of Slack? Is that what you need for it to work in, or the free version?
I don't know. I mean,
I've
I've got a
got-
paid
I've got the
version on
free
Slack
version.
already.
I'm using the free version because we didn't
You
use
are.
Slack before. Yeah, I just
That's okay. That's good. And when you say you get it to do all these things, like we're currently building out all these agents, we're way behind everybody else, but we're building out all these agents in Claude. But you're saying that you can just tell it, do this, do this, do this, and it goes off and it does it and creates its own skill
Yep.
set instead of
Yes.
having to build one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would save so
100%.
much time.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
also, Annette, give Victor, because I had 28 skills in Claude, and I also just said, hey, because I said, do you want my skills and or do you want me to export ChatGPT and Claude? And he goes, no, I've got you. Now we've got the paid Slack, but I had pulled everyone off Slack. We use ClickUp, so our chat has been in ClickUp recently. And so he just reviewed all the Google Drive and everything. And I said, you sure you don't want those skills? He said, look, I can look at them if you want. And so I've put my Claude skills in because I'm a control freak. And I've said, I want you to have my skills. But I'm telling you, Victor doesn't need the skills, but anything that you can do to sort of remember this as a co-worker. So just like a team member, you would be educating them on, hey, this is the way we do things, or this is what my plan is for this webinar or whatever. But yeah, Victor is next level.
I tell you what was even crazier. We had our SOP. Victor has gone in and reviewed all our internal SOPs and he picked out discrepancies and then updates SOP for us on the fly. So
Wow.
it's gone, okay, you've got these mentions in here that's got discrepancy in your SOP. We're going to update them and keep it all consistent, the language, everything. So it's gone in there, just sit in the background, update all our SOPs, change all the links on the SOPs, and making sure it's able to learn everything and goes, oh, you've got a few gaps in here. Can you make sure I'll put it onto your board to go and create more SOPs around these areas?
It's
Wow.
such
So I
a
was
good
like,
point,
So it's really
Jackson,
proactive,
because
eh?
Yeah.
yeah,
It's the
Well,
Is
proactive.
that
now
in
with
Google
Claude,
Drive?
yeah,
ours is in Upbase, but it can do pretty much anything. Like it can read Google Drives. Ours in the Upbase, it reads everything in there. It can do ClickUp. So I think the
Monday.
biggest it's what the Monday. Yeah, you can do Monday. I think the biggest thing is that it is like a tool I see that just sit next to you and learns everything as you go. And the more you talk and the more you educate it, the better it becomes. And if you give it a guideline of all the SOPs I have, it literally gone in there and go, hey, I can replace these tasks because I've got access to all these information. So it's going to my SOP and go, okay, I can automate these processes for you. And we've reduced some of our onboarding process to, I think, 27 different steps to probably 2 manual steps just by switching a few things around. So that's what we're finding that process really incredible. And because we use Closebot, what next bit we're going to be doing is we're going to literally go onboarding information, Closebot to qualify what they need to do, goes away, use Victor to update all the sub accounts, update all the information, goes in Closebot, use RealWave, and then build a bot off the back of it with all the information it's gathering on the front end. So it's like you give it the SOP and go, can you optimize this and tell me how you want me to optimize it? And it will give you a step-by-step process to try and really fine-tune those steps as well too.
I've got one more question. Does it integrate? I was just looking at the website and it says it integrates with anything that's got an API, because I'm currently paying quite a bit of money to developers to integrate old apps like SimPro and RMS and all sorts of stuff. And it's just a nightmare. And it's taking so long and it's so expensive. So would this be a better option, do you think?
I wouldn't be able to answer that directly because I don't know what kind of cost it will be. But I do know that when Gary was talking about Upbase, he went and found a documentation we didn't even know existed and connected via API and did things via API. I was like, I didn't even know that was there, and did it. And it was able to create tasks and do things that we weren't even aware of. So I think it's something you just need to test out to see, okay, what can you do with these documentations? We're going to do some integration type things. I haven't explored there's integration in there for webhooks, so I'll be very keen to see what that looks like to be able to capture that webhook function as well too, to see what else is able to do.
So how does it know the API keys? Does it ask you for those and then you give it to them?
You do. So you do have to store on the back end. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But if there's an MCP server, it'll just connect straight to that.
Correct. Yeah.
It will find a way, like
And
Jackson was saying, Upbase that we use for project management, it has no API. So I was giving it a login and it worked for me. And then I'm not sure how it found it for Jackson, but Jackson uses Upbase as well. And it came back to him and said, oh, I've found an API that you could use, which is not documented anywhere.
Is
and
it
then,
on Swagger or something like that? Endpoints documentation.
Don't know. It
don't
worked.
know. But I said to
fuck?
Jackson, can you ask it how it found that? So it told him. And then I put that into my Victor and
And it
said,
says,
hey,
don't
my
tell
friend uses
Gary.
Victor, and it found the API doing this. And he went, oh, yeah, cool. Awesome. And then he went away and found the API and connected it on my one as well. I was like, oh, my God.
No, it's pretty wild. Like it's been a very interesting week to look at what it's able to do and how it's able to really connect all the tools together and really rethink how you will run your business.
100%.
Just the amount of things I was able to do to offer voice note. It's pretty wild. Just like
what's voice note?
Just pressing a button, just tell it what to do in the voice
talking
note.
to it.
Talking to
it, right. Yeah.
It really made me think because like Leon last week was talking and he was asking at the end, like, does anyone got any recommendations for where to hire a VA? I'm like, I don't know.
Victor?
I still don't know why I need a VA, but like this is doing a better job than anything because it's like overseeing everything. It's asking me
100%.
questions, it's pointing
It's
out stuff
proactive
out
as
the back.
well. Yeah.
It's proactive. It
I
monitors
had a
stuff.
full project board set up in ClickUp in literally like not even 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What Tanya's mentioned before is that now what we're doing is that we're using Victor to manage the onboarding setup. So it will be able to monitor where everything's up to and then remind them and tell them what to do next without our BA going in check. That's where I find the biggest time saver is. Like when we do a stand up in the morning, it just gives me a report first thing in the morning. Says these are the follow-ups. I'm going to go do this today. Tells me what he's going to be doing on a daily basis. Some days I couldn't get my own staff to give me my daily tasks.
So it's
tells you what-
checking the replies from clients and checking inside the system that you're setting up, what's been set up, and checking that
Yeah.
against an SOP and saying, hey, this has been
Yeah.
done, this hasn't been done, we're waiting on this, we're waiting on this.
Yeah.
We uploaded a full. I've been talking to Jackson about this as well because this is probably one thing that we're both sort of trying to dial in and really sort of automate and speed up, and that's obviously client onboarding and experience
huge.
and adaptation at the start. So I gave Victor the full. Okay, this here is like what our clients ideally need to do. This
Yep.
is like all of the integrations we need to do. This is what happens when they come on board. And then here are the first 3 like training calls that we think are good that they should probably watch. Here are all these other videos as a knowledge base. And then here is our community that they have access to. Bang, straight away. It's now plugged into our Stripe payment processor. But also, like when a new subscriber comes on board with one of the 2 or 3 plans that we've got, it will then automatically create like a task board, like checklist for the new user or the new sub account, and then literally check in every
Wow.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Of
Has this been done?
those
Has this been
tasks,
done?
have they
Yeah,
been done?
yeah,
Have they
yeah.
been done? Have they been done? But without asking our team member, going in and actually
Yeah,
checking.
looking in the system. Yeah.
And then doing a nudge within Slack with a DM, like or tagging the team member, hey,
You need
this
to
is where
connect
this
the
is up to. You
calendar
need to do
account
this.
or whatever. Yeah. That's
And then
clever.
obviously, do you want me to do it? And that's what we're seeing now is like, I can do this. And I'm like, okay, as these come up, now make a list of everything that you can do. Because obviously we're only still new on it. I'm like, make a list of everything that you can now handle instead of our team members.
Yeah.
And I want you to do that straight away. And then that way you're staying on top of the tasks with the team members now as well.
So you
yeah,
would
it's
give
nuts.
it its own email so that it could do integrations, say with Google Business Profile or Facebook accounts or anything like that?
No, it connects through the MCP server. So there's no
Mm.
need. And through API. Yeah,
Okay.
there's no need.
It my mom actually went and tried to create its own Facebook profile.
Yep.
It did get blocked. So it was trying to join the group, trying to join my group to try and manage posts and everything like that, but it did get blocked because it couldn't get a 2-factor authentication and that kind of stuff. But there are ways around it in terms of like giving the access to more things. But but it's I think the one thing we're just talking to Michael about is if you're able to put it down into an SOP, then it's got a pretty good chance of learning how to do it and find a way to optimize it. And I think that's what it comes back to. If you have a process you wanted to learn, and it's going to have a really good way of learning it, and then have a very clear way of actioning what those things needs to be in the business.
It sounds like it from what others are saying. It's got some pretty good capabilities out of the box as well.
As I said, that voice note last night at 11 p.m. on the voice note to Slack with a client that we had integrations with webhooks from Zapier and Zapier to LeadsBridge to change from webhook to ADF XML into another CRM. And then there's obviously workflows within the sub account in Pinnacle, high level. I just did a voice note of what we were seeing, or what I was told of what's happening, and then copy and pasted the Loom video that they'd sent me. And I just said, tell me if you can fix this. 3 minutes. Bang.
Crazy, yeah.
This is what's happening. Do you approve me to go in and do it? And I just clicked approve. Bang, it's gone into Zapier. It's gone into LeadsBridge, change what they need to, Zapier, and then gone into the sub account within high level and changed the automation to all match up there so everything flowed, and then made the changes back within the pipeline stages. It was nuts.
Yeah. So good.
Has anybody used it to do anything graphical in the browser, like website design, like
All of our
website
content.
stuff? Yeah, all your content,
All our
visual,
content, and it's
images and stuff. Yeah.
building. It literally just now while we're talking here made this calculator really quickly for a presentation that we're going to be doing, for a webinar
Oh,
really
cool,
quickly.
perfect.
Like just
Oh,
me,
little calculator. Yeah.
yeah, just vibe coded, bang, and Victor did that really
Cool.
quickly. So yeah.
Yeah, and those thumbnails that I showed, the difference between
Oh, yeah.
Manus
Sorry,
and
mate. I
Victor,
forgot about that
like,
one. Yeah.
it's
And that was
incredible.
without any training. That was without saying how to use this font and this style. It was just like straight out of the box. Same
That was
info.
out the box, giving it the transcript of the video. Or
Yeah,
actually, I
yeah.
just gave it the link to the video. I said, "Hey, make me a thumbnail for this video," and he went, "There you go." I was like, "All right, that's good."
That's better than the other one.
That's what sold me, like, immediately, because that was like what Jackson was saying about that video process that he's got in place of, like, grab a loom, upload it to YouTube, create a thumbnail. That's something that I've been trying to get working properly with Manus for a while, because I
Right.
create a load of videos. And it's not easy to do that with Manus. It's not easy to make it do it well every time, to like grab that video, upload it, create a decent
Is that
description.
for your podcast stuff, mate?
No, well, for that and for like just Loom videos that we make or training videos, all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah,
Just wanted to
okay,
make
yeah.
it faster because like our process is so slow at the moment, right?
Right.
And now Victor can just do all of that. Like it would just
Here's
upload
the video. Create me a thumbnail, basically.
Yeah, and it creates better descriptions, better titles, better hooks, and then
Everything
all the other
visually.
stuff that we've been using.
Crazy, mate.
Like we got it to audit our YouTube channel and give us new options for everything, like all the titles, all the descriptions and stuff. And all of that was done by AI before anyway. Like we're using AI tools like OpenStreetMap and stuff.
Yeah.
But it went through and you could just see the difference. Like, oh my God, yeah, that's so much better.
That's more, interesting.
Yeah, and it just went through and said, here's all the things on your YouTube channel that should be updated. Like these videos are missing tags, these descriptions are too small, this one hasn't got a call to action, this title's shit, whatever. It just went through the whole thing and we're like, yep, go. Like,
all right.
And what I really like is I'm not confident in getting everything right now, but I can see it learning a lot, like what it's learned in a week and what it's starting to understand. So the more that it kind of you feed into it, the more it just understands. It's just watching in the background and then picking that stuff up. Which
what blows me away is that you can give it a loom of you doing something across, let's say, 5 different platforms on the browser, whatever they may look like. It's able to learn what you're doing. Like our Loom video that go into Hyper require going to the Loom, click on the share, and grab the embed code out of Loom to embed it into Hyper. So it did all that by itself by watching the Loom. So just learning all those steps. It's not just learning what you're doing. It's like learning all the different clicks and things that you do in your browser and you're able to do what you need to do to achieve the task. Extract information and then writing into the text, going to UpBase, which is, again, it's a browser base, going to UpBase, go and click on the plus sign, create an actual task and put an actual list in there, create an actual folder and create subfolders within all within its own on a core based on an initial teaching of what we show you to do. That's what really blows me away. It's like we've done it trying to do with Manus and different tools. That it really is that next level up. It's like I did a post recently. It was like an OpenClaw and Manus is like just merged into something. It without all the scrutiny of OpenClaw.
Yeah, it feels like how
Which
AI you want to work.
Takes hours to set up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hours.
Has anyone done any PowerPoint presentations with it for that sort of thing?
That PDF that I had, that was Claude did that. I think I gave it like a 2-line prompt to do that, so it wasn't a great
No,
one.
I mean Victor.
Yeah, that one that I did.
Yeah.
That was by Victor. That's the only one that I've done, and I did not spend any time going through it, and I think it was just promoting itself as well.
And I'm doing one this afternoon, so I'll let you know.
I will say that I think there are some tools out there, like for example, Manus that does a pretty good job when it comes to some website creations, or Claude does a pretty good job. So I think every tool has its own pros and cons. I think it's a matter of just honing in what Victor is able to do for your business, how you can optimize it, and you will have other tools that will do a better job, right? So It's not like this
It's the
is
way it is.
everything. It's like, right? But it's like, for me, it's just more like operationally, it's going to save me probably a good 40% of our manual tasks and improve our team's
100%.
productivity by 5 times with
Yeah.
maybe $500, which is crazy. That the ROI you get out of that $500 a month, it's huge compared to what time you need to spend on being able to not only manage your tasks or manage your team and give them tasks, daily meetings. Like, it's the moment you put a voice note in, it's been done and been actioned. Like, that is what the biggest time saver is. Like, when you put a voice note, it's been actioned already and it gets monitored already. Whereas in the past, I had to go in there, put it in the board, go to the team member, explain to them what to do, put a Loom video in there. They'll come back and say, "Oh, I'm not sure how to do something."
What does that mean? Yeah.
What does that mean? You know, and that's what I said the real advantage is. It's operational. It really step up to what you're able to do in your business once you know where to go to, what to do.
So you've been able to just stop paying for Claude and Manus and OpenAI and just do it all through Victor?
Most of what I'm doing operationally, I do through Vector. Yeah, there's still something I'm still using Manus and Claude for different things, more creative writing and something like that. But like, don't forget, Victor is also using Claude code already. So it's using different language models, so Sonnets and Opus. So it's already using that. And on the back of the preference, and you can choose to where you want to use a balance, because obviously the credits will cost. You can go in and set up what language model it will pick to optimize what you're looking to do.
Does it have an auto detect feature on which model to use? I got stuck into a big project and I chose the wrong model and it cost me a bloody fortune.
Yeah, it does. So like on the back of the you got settings like smartest preferences. You'll choose between OpenAI, Claude, and you're able to do. And using that prompt Gary used, you'll then go in there and go, okay, on the task that you're currently doing this, you don't have to use Sonnet. You can use
it's too much.
OpenAI. It doesn't require that kind of. So it does have the ability to optimize on the back end as well too.
And that's where this. I'll chuck this prompt in the chat here again, so you guys grab that, because that's where this comes in really handy, because like it does pick the best one that it thinks of at that time, but also then you add things to it, or you might say, hey, can you do this for me? And it will go yes, and it will do it, and then you go, could you turn that into a recurring task every week and give me a report on it or something? And it'll go, yeah, I can. But that new bit that you've added to it might mean that it do it on a different model, and it might not do that there and then because it's already created it. So the audit process to do its self audit every week is where it will go back in, and then it will go, oh, actually, because I'm now working this way, I could change this into something else, an API call or a task or a webhook or whatever. And it looks for more efficient ways to run.
So I installed today, and it's a bit like, I see you have the channels. I had stopped using Slack as well, so I just got my Slack back for this. So you have the different channels. So you're setting up the different channels by, like, say, job, say Google
Capability.
Ads, Facebook ads, and then are you also creating for, say, client A Google Ads,
good question.
or like per client as well?
You can. Yeah, because that means you can specifically ask it to check this particular sub account or this particular. So the more you can segregate some of those conversations, I think over time it'd be cheaper for your tokens. It's not looking at like this full conversation list that Gary was referring to. That's more of a DM. I do the DM part just more like on ad hoc type operations, but when it's like a specific channel, I'll go into a specific channel and go in there and do something in that. Like at the moment, I've got a help desk channel, internal SOP, Loom video SOP. I've got personal Facebook accounts, ads account, logos, all the different channels I'm doing for new account that gets signed up with different plans. It gets into a different plan. So in there, it knows all the different things you need to do based on this particular channel, because they're all different. They all have different SOPs. And that's how you want to do that. Yeah, that's it.
And then on the bottom part where it says apps, Victor, so that main chat, that's where you keep going with like just the general of how you run the business. Yeah. Okay.
It's more like conversation too. I treat it more like a conversation I'm having with Victor as a back and forth type information. And once I get to a point, I go, yeah, great, let's put that into a channel, and we'll just move everything you've done in that information and create it, go and add it into a channel, and it
So
becomes
it
part of
creates a
that.
channel for you, like it creates a
Yeah,
channel
it can
in
do that as
Slack.
well too. Yeah.
Nice. Wow,
Yeah.
awesome.
I
Just
hadn't done
exactly
that
how
because I
you
don't.
would use Slack, really. Because
Yeah.
I
Well, I
hate
haven't used
DMs.
the Slack, that's why I'm asking.
Oh,
Well, I
I
don't use
can't
Slack either.
stand
And
the
Jackson said
DMs.
to
Yeah.
me, Jackson said to me about creating the channels. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense because I hadn't thought about it because I
Yeah.
don't use Slack either.
Uh,
And I just said to
Yeah.
Victor, based on the conversations we've had so far, what channels do you think we should set up and start segregating this stuff into? And he went, oh, these are the channels we should do. And I went, great, can you create them?
That sounds
And
good.
created them, and then
so,
say, yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll move all that information related to those things into those channels. I went, sweet.
And we've
So
got channels in sections as well. So
Yeah.
each business, I guess, key area, whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, whether it's operations, finance. I've even got a priority, so a daily must check in. I've also got client comms, then product development, and so on. But with my brain injury, at the best of times, even just without, you can't find anything in a DM,
No.
especially if you're working as a business,
No.
right? And so you're better off doing your channels, your sections, and then it just keeps you organized as well.
So,
The way I see
can I just
Slack.
ask, we've
Oh,
got about 5 accounts with Slack, so with different clients, plus our internal one for us. So when you
Yeah.
set this up with Victor, is it in your internal one or is it
Yeah.
another account again?
No. It's in your
Single,
internal one. But if you've got
yeah.
client accounts, they would potentially that would come in anyway into yours as a Slack Connect,
it's
would
Slack
it
Connect,
not,
correct.
Annette?
Yeah.
No,
Because
no.
you generally, I would not be actually jumping into your client's account unless you're in multiple channels, because it becomes chaotic for you. So I
So
would
no,
actually set up
in
a
our
channel.
internal one, we've got about 20 channels. Each one is a
Yes.
client, right?
Oh, yes. No, that's
Yes.
perfect.
But
Yeah.
then we've also got like a Slack account with a particular client because they like Slack too.
Yes.
But you
And
can
so we do
select them
little
as an
chats.
external connection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can add them. You can add them under the feature called Slack Connect. So they love Slack, you love Slack, and then it literally comes in, and I can go down and I can see what's called, like, even Jessie. She's not on the call today, but we've got what's called external connections, and they're the other companies that are also on Slack. So you
Right.
don't necessarily have to log into their Slack.
Yep.
Unless, of course, that won't work if they're on a free, only if they're on a paid.
Oh, yeah, no, everybody's
It will if you use them as one of your guests. So you get up to 250 guests
Yes,
on the paid
yes.
pack. So you can still bring them in as an external. What we do is we select them and build a private channel for that client. And then when you
Yes.
go into the back end, so when you go on to manage your tools and go onto the desktop itself, you can actually add them specifically to that channel. And that way you can use their external email address and they only have access to that channel. So they can't see anything
Yes.
else.
Yeah.
I mentioned it in the description there. We set up 2 channels. So one is for client side and the other is for development side.
That's what we
That way,
do.
if you have
Yeah.
any app in there, so if you have an OpenClaw, if you have Victor, it knows the difference. So it's not going to highlight a problem on the client side. It's going to highlight it on the dev
Yes.
side.
Yeah.
So that's something just to know. But yeah, if you add the person to the channel within the app, it will only give them 30 days free if they don't have a pro. But if you go onto the desktop side of your Slack and actually add them in as a specific guest for that specific channel, then they do have access under your allocation of 250 guests.
Is that as long as they've created a free Slack account first, or it will just
It
ping them?
doesn't matter. It'll invite them. It'll invite them in. So we just took on a new client this week, and he's not tech savvy, and he literally just downloaded the app, got the email, and was added into just that specific channel. He can write to you one-on-one, but we just guide them that every correspondence needs to go back into the channel. We kind of word it in the way that we need the whole team to be able to see it. So basically stop being a pain in the ass and then me a one-on-one.
But you've got a paid Slack.
That's exactly right.
I have a paid Slack, yeah, because that's where I put all my. It's the easiest way for me to see everything that's going on, especially for like social media stuff where maybe the client's having a bit of a problem trying to connect things. But I don't necessarily enter into that chat. I just observe it.
observe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's making me think I need to use Slack now instead of Click.
It depends on what you're doing. We do more high-end custom stuff. So for that, they will get it. For any low-ticket stuff, like if someone's just using our GoHighLevel as an example, they definitely do not get into our Slack channel.
No.
I'm just thinking for the
Gary,
team.
are you using ClickUp?
I use ClickUp as well, by the way,
Click,
Tanya.
not ClickUp, Click.
Oh, Click, right.
It's Zoho's
Yeah.
version of Slack.
Yeah.
Have you found the messaging? How have you found the messaging, Tanya, in ClickUp?
A pain in the ass.
It is a pain in the bum, but I've educated my whole team now, because what was happening in Slack, and we've been Slack for a decade, what was happening in Slack was the team were actually coming into Slack, and before we had anything integrated and just chatting on the general, project or whatever, just general chat. And I said, no, rule 101 in my business, if it's an actual conversation on the task, it belongs in ClickUp,
Yeah,
and it belongs
comments
on
and
the
targets.
task.
Yeah.
So then when ClickUp brought out chat, yeah, it's a little bit annoying because most of the chat's just in the normal thread or whatever, and in your DMs. But I find anything related to tasks and projects are in ClickUp. And to be honest, there's only probably 2 team members in my Slack. So now I'm only using Slack really to work with Victor and to work with a couple clients that I actually do have in Slack. Some of my clients are actually pain in the asses. They don't want to be in Slack, or they start in Slack and then they don't see it. So we're trying to re-educate them. I don't bring clients into ClickUp though. I've tried that and it's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's just finding what works for you as well.
And the level of the client. If you've got a high-end client, most of the times they just want a Loom video or they just want the stats. If everything's in the green, that's all they care about. They don't want to
I
be given
agree.
3 different softwares and be told to do all the
Yeah.
different things. The reason why we get them into Slack is because we just say, if you are pinged, like if you get a message, it's because we want you to action something, and it's quite serious.
Yes.
There's no chit chat in there. It's not like back and forth.
No, it's the same with us. Yeah.
So it's more about
And it
setting the
doesn't get
guidelines
lost
from
in the
start.
email.
Yeah, if you just set the guidelines at the start, and I joke about it. I say, oh, look, we had a few pain in the ass clients like before this, and I kind of highlight
They're all
that.
dead now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're buried under the swimming pool. But when you say it as a joke, they kind of go, yeah, but then they
Never laugh,
they
do
never
you?
mess it. They don't.
Don't get that Irish humor. No.
Well, they wouldn't want to work with me if they didn't get the Irish humor. That's the whole point. It's great.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
They
I
don't
want
last
to work
very
with you. I
long,
keep
and
seeing
they
your
break
ads,
up.
mate. I keep seeing your ads popping up. I was like, it's a really good ad.
Well, I have to say, I think I spoke to Yossi about this. Like, we went with this big ad around a really successful builder, and now we've had all their competitors reach out.
Really?
It was fucking so effective. Yeah. Big pat on the back for me.
Very good, mate. Guys, we are 15 minutes.
Yeah, I better go collect my daughter. I gotta go, guys. It was
Thanks
good.
very much, guys.
And thank you, everybody,
See you
for coming along.
guys.
Thank
See
you.
you
It's
all
great.
next week.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you.